Hey guys, once again Sheila's subbing today, so I've got some extra time. I'm still on volume 1, question or page number 92 of the Pauline Buford Pusser files. I'm just going to skim over these real fast, put my 2 cents in here about it. Video interview with suspect Buford Hayes Pusser. Black and white video. Black and white video, that was probably on either Eddie Bonds or TV newscast. Could be anything. That would be something I would pay attention to. That's Buford in his own voice, on camera. That's not a so-called written statement somebody else has put out. That's him. So whatever he says there, I would take it. That would be it. Newspaper article, Action News, Memphis. See, you can't really go by newspapers. You can't really go by statements. But now TV and video, something like that, is definitely something I would pay attention to. News article, Action News 5, Memphis, May 20th of 06. Newspaper article, Tennessean, August 11th, 2023. That is probably something to do with the digging up the body or news conference or something. Who knows? Guys, the thing is, once again, I don't want to just beat a dead horse here, but newspaper articles and things like that doesn't prove anything about Buford Pusser killing Pauline. That's fillers. That's something else to put into a report, because if it's in the newspaper, it's hearsay. If it could be anything, somebody's told a reporter, or property release, Colt Python 357 Magnum and Remington 357 180 grain. I think we discussed that in another video. Property release. I don't know what that's got to do with you. Those of you that's got the report, if it's anything relevant that makes any sense, please put it in the comments for us so the rest of us will know. Forensic scientists. I'll tell you what that's probably got to do with. That's probably got to do with one of these expert witnesses. They've probably done something with that. Scott Lawson with retired FBI behavioral analysis unit, psychological workup, and victimology. 58 years later. Telephone conversation with Michael Parsons with Oakley Dean Baldwin. There's you a good one. Oakley Dean Baldwin. Guys, if you haven't been to, I don't know which channel this is going to be on, Sheila's or mine, but be sure and check out Fred McCoy 40 channel. You can basically just click on my name if I've made any comments, and it'll take you straight there. But Oakley Dean Baldwin, 1023. Now, Oakley Dean Baldwin says in his interview that he's the reason that they reopened this case. He was the reason, he was the man behind it. Well, this case has been opened since January, basically. Mike Elam first talked to TBI in January, I think was the first video we did on this. This is 10 months later. Oakley Dean Baldwin's finally coming into the picture. Now, he'd been hanging out with Mike Elam and talking to Mike, and Mike giving him all the information he had, even though it's hearsay and made up and all that. But Oakley goes out and writes his own book. Says here, 98, investigative lead. Oh, we've got a lead. From Oakley Dean Baldwin concerning Pauline Mullins Pusser. Living brother, Griffin Mullins, 10/25/23. So there's the connection between Griffin and TBI, Mr. Davison, and Oakley Dean Baldwin has contacted Griffin Mullins, introduced himself, and gave his speech how he's from the same state, the same county, or his grandmother was, that Pauline's grandmother was, and probably cousins, and Meeting with Mike Parsons, Mark Lewis, Assistant Director Josh Milton. Look at all the names, guys. Mark Davison. A case review, case briefing. Let's see where we're at. Let's see where we're at here, guys. Let's have a powwow. See what we got to do here to move this along. I feel some good publicity coming out of this. I think we can probably get us a news conference if we work this out right. Telephone conversation, Michael Parsons with Griffin Mullins. So here we are 4 days later, and we're gonna talk to old Griffin. Say, Griffin, we'd like to dig your sister's body up. Huh? Okay, well, yeah, that's fine. Go ahead, do what you want to do. We didn't get along anyway. I don't know that, guys. I'm speaking hypothetically, but that's what we've been told. We've been told they didn't get along, mainly because he didn't get along with Buford. Not because Buford was abusive toward his wife. They just didn't get along because they didn't get along. Buford didn't like him. And if you look at that picture we put out a video on, you'll probably see why. But photographs. Photograph of Ann Henderson, October of 2023. Personal history index, Griffin Mullins. Investigative activity, attempt to locate Buford Pusser's. Oh, well, we've lost the file. We've lost all the evidence, tangible, physical evidence. Now we're going to try to, let's find this car, guys. Let's locate the car. Okay, let's see if we do any better at finding this car than we have the file, the blood samples, the gun casings, Pauline's clothing, Pauline's shoes. Let's see if we can find this big old Plymouth Ferry. Plate information, Department of Revenue, 11/7/23. Investigative activity, second attempt. Oh, now we're going to make a second attempt. We made one on the November the 7th. Now we're on November the 15th. Still trying to find that car. License plate information, no. Investigative activity, meeting with Dennis Hathcock. Boy, I'll tell you, TBI guys, they're on it. Dennis Hathcock trying to find the file, trying to find the evidence. Wow. Meeting with Oakley Baldwin, meeting with Mike Elam. What a file. What a case report. You might as well win. Yeah. Conduct controlled recording with Ann Henderson. Ann Henderson. What I understand, I could be wrong, but I think Ann Henderson used to work at the courthouse or city hall or something. I think there was some rumors, may even been fact, I don't know, about her and Buford maybe. Who knows? Question is, was she on New Hope Road at 5 o'clock on August the 12th, 1967? Was she there with the camera or anything? Was she a witness to what happened on New Hope Road? Because that's where she would come in at. It's 58 years later. Unless she saw something, it would be irrelevant whether she had an affair with George Wallace. Do we really care? Does that have any bearing? But see, that's going to fill some space. That's going to fill some. That's some more money to make on this report, so-called report here. Technical assistant, a covert recording. Covert recording here at Sumner City Hall. They're in there recording in City Hall. Don't say who they recorded. Maybe that's M106 there. Maybe y'all can tell us. Number 107, investigative activity. Attempt to locate vehicle information concerning Buford Pusser's 1967 Plymouth Ferry 1. Maxidon's Automotive, Sumner, Tennessee. I seen that. A lot of people were sending us, tell us to go to Pagoda Boys and watch that video with Maxidon on there talking about the car and so forth. We did. 108, investigative activity. Attempt to locate the vehicle concerning Buford Pusser's. 11:15, same thing, same day, 11:15 all the way down. Just fillers. You could have put all this in one report. You could put this all under one title. But wouldn't look as good. Wouldn't look like you'd done as much work as formerly Hively Motors of Sumner. investigative activity conversation with Sumner attorney Terry Abernathy. Okay, now that's a good one. This would be a person that I'd like to talk to. I'd like to speak to Sheila and I. Terry Abernathy. Is this the Abernathy that was the Attorney General back in the day? Is he still alive? Or is this an offspring? Can't remember. And Sheila's not here right now, but Terry Abernathy. I know it was an Abernathy that held the press conference, got everybody in the courthouse and said, if you got anything on Buford Pusser, tell me now. Nobody had anything. Nobody said a word. He put in the newspaper, it's all rumors. There's nothing to this. Plymouth Ferry 1, Fairview Road, Chester County, Tennessee. So they're still trying to track down a Plymouth Ferry. Investigative lead from 26th DOG Jody Peekins concerning Don Smith and a recovered rifle. I bet that's that old rusty rifle I seen. Telephone conversation with Michael Parsons and Donald G. Smith. All right, guys, we're up to 112. Let's move on. Recovery of evidence. Rusted rifle from Barry Henson, 2149 New Hope Road, McNairy County, guys, Tennessee. 11/19, November the 19th. They have gone to 2149 New Hope Road, and they've talked to Barry Henson, and he's got an old rusted rifle that they're recovering. Telephone conversation with David Craven, son of Dr. Rufus Craven. Guys, I think Dr. Rufus Craven was actually the plastic, it's the next line down, I got a star by it. Investigative activity, attempt to locate medical files of Dr. Rufus Craven, plastic surgeon who worked on Buford Pusser's face at Baptist Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee. 11/21/23. That's an interesting file. 116, guys. See what you can find in there. I wish they'd show some pictures so we could show some of these people what it really looked like and how many surgeries they actually did. We've heard anywhere from 16 to 18 reconstructive surgeries over the years to try to repair Buford's face from that so-called self-inflicted gunshot wound that Mike Elam and some of them like as well. Not even Mike Elam now. It's Dr. Revelle and Mark Davison. Yeah, they opine that Buford shot himself in the face with a .357 Magnum, put that gun right in his mouth and pulled that trigger. And that's all it did. You know, if you look at that picture, if you look at those pictures, you think, wow, that's all it did? .357 Magnum with a Magnum round? That's all it did? But if you look at that jaw with anything else, you think, holy crap, blew it apart. See, that's why nobody stuck no gun in their mouth and did that. Didn't happen. It would have blown it. It would have killed them. The gases alone. Investigative activity, attempt to obtain manufacturer specification requirements for a 1967 model Plymouth Ferry two-door Danny Wilson National Insurance Crime Bureau. Guys, all you got to do is Google 1967. Manufacturer design, manufacturer specifications. It'll give you the measurements. I think we put that in our first video. Document, ATF Firearms E-Trace request. That must be on the gun that they found up top. That must be on the gun that they found that was all rusted up. I don't know. Somebody that's got the report can tell us. Document, TBI, non-disclosure, NDA, memorandum. Howard Ryan and Highlands Forensics. Document, non-disclosure, memorandum. Guys, are they making these people sign NDAs? Revelle, Latham, Ryan, are they making everybody sign an NDA so they can't write a book one day on this? Is that what I could be wrong. Non-disclosure. Huh. I wonder if Mark Davison and David Roush I wonder if they signed NDAs or any kind of disclosure that they'd never write a book or do a movie with this. Because I remember the Mark Putnam case, the FBI agent that killed his informant. When he got out, they did another movie on him. And they hired one of his supervisors, another FBI agent that the sister had actually gone to complaining because her sister had come up missing and she couldn't get nothing done with this FBI agent. She couldn't get none done with none of them. They transferred Mark Putnam off to Miami, Florida to work in that FBI office, and it was over with until my partner and I went to the news media, still trying to get something done about corrupt sheriff and Commonwealth attorney and judges such as that. And then he goes and is a movie consultant for the movie on an FBI agent that he had that Mike Revelle, TBI medical consultant. Audio, Griffin and Phyllis Mullins. 11/28. Document, ATF Firearms E-Trace Request Report. Machine gun. A machine gun. What caliber? Request of examination. STEM. Machine gun serial number. Jackson, Tennessee. Search of Adamsville Cemetery plot map. All right, guys, let's look at this here because I have a feeling they're getting ready to dig old Pauline up right here. They've been talking to Griffin. They've been talking to Griffin and Phyllis Mullins. On 11/28, November the 28th. And they're at the cemetery on 12/6. On December the 6th, they're at Adamsville Cemetery and they're getting the plot map. They want to see exactly where she's buried at. 126 there says document, Pauline Mullins Pusser. That's on the 6th. Gravesite documentation, that's on December the 6th. Investigative activity, search of evidence room from stolen evidence in the 1980s break-in. What's that? Now they're saying the evidence was stolen from a break-in, maybe. Maybe their evidence files was stolen in 1980 from a break-in. 128, guys. 127. See what you get there. See what you get. Because that... Let me see here. 128. See what you get there. Investigative lead, Trooper J. Rufus Reed. It's an investigative lead. Don't know what it is. It's 129. So read that file there and see what you get. Interview, telephone with Pamela Faye Copeland. Pamela Faye Copeland. Don't know what that is. Be interesting to know. 1:30. If it's anything relevant, please put it in the comments. Photographs. Photographs of Pauline Mullins Pusser provided by Griffin. You know, we've asked for pictures of Griffin at Pauline's funeral. He had no pictures, or none's ever been produced of Griffin, of Baldwin, Oakley Baldwin, Doris Baldwin. Nobody like that's ever been at the funeral. In fact, do you know when they went back to rebury Pauline, her brother Griffin didn't even show up? Baldwin was not there. Butch Baldwin didn't know her. We found that out through our investigation. We don't even think there's any relation there. It's never been proven if there is. We go by proof. Truth through proof. Michael Parsons, investigative activity, search for family of J. Rufus Reed. J. Rufus Reed. I'm sure it's not got nothing good to do with Buford, but see what it is, guys. 135. Medical examiner consultant. Dr. Danielle Harrell, Forensic Center, Memphis. Consultation, I'm sorry. Guys, I work, I can't read. I'm half blind. Can't see anymore, so not that my spelling or language or English or anything else is any better, but sometimes I just can't see the words. Document TBI non-disclosure. They made Dr. Danielle Harrell, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe they have made her sign a NDA. Maybe. I could be wrong. Could be wrong about any of this. Lack of information leads to speculation. Lack of information. If you can't put the information out there where people can look at it without paying $400, then don't be upset when people speculate. That's all we got to go by sometimes. Letter number 2 from Griffin Mullins' brother. Griffin Mullins, brother of Pauline Mullins. December the 19th. Lab report. Firearms report. Lab report on that number there. Jackson Crime Lab. What's that on? Lab report. Official firearms report on number. Don't say what it is. Got a serial number there, though. Letter. Letter number 3 from Griffin Mullins, brother of Pauline Mullins. So Griffin is writing letters back and forth with the TBI. January the 1st. Property receipt letter. George Crum letter. George Crum letter. Sheriff Kerry Jackson, Special Agent Justin Tubbs. Remember Tubbs? They used to play on Miami Vice. Crockett and Tubbs. 143, document letter. George Crum letter to O'Bine. What is that, guys? If it's anything important, put it in the comments. I have a feeling it's not. Interview with Denny Howe. Denny Howe says that they did not quote him correctly, that they changed the words in his report. That's what he told us in one of our videos in a phone interview. He said the TBI changed his wording. Property receipt, John Hill, a letter, McNairy County Sheriff, guy. Investigative activity, discovery of Tennessee Highway Patrol Trooper Rufus Reed's relatives. Okay, so this Rufus Reed, guys, was a highway patrol trooper at one time, and evidently he's deceased, maybe. They found a relative of his, Terry Reed. Hearsay, guys. Nothing but more hearsay. More innuendos, more speculation. Where was these guys at back in 1967? Document TBI non-disclosure memorandum signed by. She signed a non-disclosure memorandum. She can't write a book. I could be wrong, but I assume that's non-disclosures where none of these people's allowed to see it. If I'm right, it sure cuts down on the competition instead of having a whole bunch of books or a whole bunch of movie contracts out there later on. Document order of autopsy. Here we go. 148. 148. Document order for an autopsy of Pauline Pusser from McNairy County Dr. Michael Revelle. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what this is here coming up. 149, where the star is. Document order of exhumation, of the remains. February the 6th. There's the order. There's the document. Take to the courthouse, and we're going to order the exhumation of the remains of Pauline Pusser. February the 6th. Investigative activity, order for the exhumation of the remains served So they have now took it by the Shackelford Funeral Home, and they have told Director Robert Shackelford, we want this lady dug up, and this is on the 6th. So they're moving. On the 6th, they're doing this document, Shackelford Funeral Home. That's also on the 6th. So let's see what else we got here, because that's moving right along. Oh, let's see what happened on the 7th. This is the 7th. Order, exhumation of the remains, filed with McNary clerk. Now they go to the clerk's office and they file it. The next day, they go to the clerk's office and they file it. Because, see, the time ain't here, but I probably wrong, but guys, if you would, look at 154 and see what time that was checked in at the clerk's office. I guarantee you that it was after 12 o'clock. It was after the newspaper, whatever time the newspaper there in McNary County goes by and checks the clerk's office every day to see if there's any new news they need to print. I guarantee you it's after the newspaper lady has left. And then they go in there and file this paper. Because, see, this is on the 7th. Guess what happens on the 8th? Guess what happens? They got the paper on the 6th, the document. They filed it on the 7th. It's now been filed. Document of oath of confidentiality, Dusty Ellis with Wilbur Vault. So he's done signed confidentiality. He's done signed the NDA, photograph, and they start to exhume the body. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. 6, they get the papers. 7, they file the papers. 8, they dig her up. The family didn't even know what hit them. The grandkids didn't know nothing about it till they had the backhoe in the cemetery, and they're digging up the casket, and somebody calls and says, hey, they're digging up your grandma. What are you talking about? Mom and Dad's buried on top of Grandma. They didn't even know it. Mr. Davison didn't even go by Tennessee state law the way I read it. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. It's my opinion. I don't think he went, hey, whether he went by the law or not, he sure didn't have a heart. Let's put it like that. He sure didn't have any sympathy or for the family to say, hey guys, we're going to be digging Pauline up. Just going to let you know, give you a heads up. Nah, we don't want to do that. We want to get this on by. We want to get her out of the ground before anybody can stop it. Adamsville Old Cemetery. Mullings Pussers dug up. Dug up and sent to the morgue. Document. Anonymous letter from original case file. Where'd this original case file come from? Original case file? Thought the original case file's been lost since 1976. Remember? File regarding Buford Pusser, August 67. What is this? This was found in February of 2024. They've taken excerpts from 12th of August. That's a good one. They're like Mr. Isla, whatever his name is. They're like Rusty. They're reading 12th of August. They're Mike Elam's book, Oakley Baldwin's book, 12th of August book. Wow. Authorized autobiography. Investigative lead, John Hill and Thomas Holcomb. Who is that, guys? 163. Who is that? Video interview with Mammy. There you go. There's you somebody that knows what's going on. There's you somebody that saw firsthand. Mammy Young. Elam. Look at that. Elam. I know she's no kin to Mr. Elam, but Mammy's the one that run up on Buford Pusser, the first one to see him. The old lady that had no reason to lie, no reason to, didn't know what he was doing, where he was at, didn't know. Said, I can't help you, but I'll go get you some help, she said. Said his chin was hanging down to his chest. Now, Mike Elam says it wasn't. Oakley Baldwin says it wasn't. Oakley Baldwin says he just got some stitches, and, well, there's you an eyewitness. That's not somebody in North Carolina working on the garbage department. That's not somebody in Arkansas running around finding people for eating grapes at the produce counter. Loss prevention. That's Mammy. She pulled up on it and saw it. She saw his jaw and what he looked like. Investigative lead: Irene, Linda, Brian, Judy, Kenneth, Robert. What are all them guys? What is all that? Investigative lead. Is it leads or is it hearsay? Is it leads or is it hearsay? Or is it something to do? Here's drone assistance. Is it something to do with maybe our expert witnesses and they're doing some kind of a reenactment or something maybe? Investigative lead, Connie Butler. Telephone conversation with Robert Heathcock. See, guys, how you... Heathcock. Wow. Newspaper article, B.B. Jackson, Tennessee, concerning exhumation. We know about that. That's 2 1/8. You had to put that. You think that's a filler, maybe? Think maybe that's a filler, guys? Just something to put in the report to make another page? I think it's a filler. I think it's just something to... I told you when this case first came out, and they said they had a 1,000-page report. I said half of it, over half of it, would be nothing but garbage. It's just fillers, just to make it... They were too proud. Mr. Davison was too proud. This file is voluminous, he said. Voluminous. He was so proud of that file being voluminous at 1,000 pages. Imagine now. Well, they say it's 2,500 pages now. So in order to get 2,500 pages, you look here. Look what's in that file. Here you go. I was going to say you have to throw newspaper articles and everything in it in order to get that. Look here, newspaper, Tennessean, 223. What's that newspaper concern? It concerns Mr. Davison and Mr. Roush out there when they're digging Pauline's body up, getting that exposure, getting those camera shots. We're on the job, guys. We're gonna solve this 58-year-old case. We can't go down the road 2 hours and find these missing kids, but we're gonna work on this case here. They're dead, but it's okay. Investigative activity. That's my opinion, guys. I'm just speaking out loud. Attempt to obtain a VIN number. A 1967 Plymouth Ferry 2-door. Danny Wilson, National Insurance Crime. Still trying to find the car, guys. This case is so screwed up, so messed up. Who signed the non-disclosure here? Brenda Butler. They made Brenda Butler sign a non-disclosure. There's you another one. She can't sell no rights to a movie. She can't make no money off this. Don't look like, in my opinion. Measurement and Imaging Manager. Document. Email concerning investigative lead from Brian Boney. February 12th, 2024. We got a lead, guys. It's 2024, but it looks like we got a lead. Investigative activity. Medical examiner's preliminary autopsy finding. Dana Messer, Danielle Harrell. We know Dana Messer's the anthropologist, and she says that Pauline had a well-healed nasal fracture. No bullets, but a well-healed nasal fracture. But Mr. Davison gets on stage and said it had to be a domestic because she had a healing nasal fracture, he said. Recovery of evidence. Evidence from the autopsy of Pauline Pusser. What kind of evidence? What kind of evidence was there from the autopsy? Broke nose? A broke nose, because half of her skull's gone. It's still missing. Pauline Pusser, Jackson Crime Lab, technical assistant, covert recording. They're recording Ann Henderson again, and it's a covert recording. I guess maybe Ann wasn't advised that she was being recorded, which you don't have to. long as you're involved in that conversation or your law enforcement. But investigative lead, Keith Minheimer. Wow, what a name. I can't get that one, guys. You'll have to read that for yourself. Telephone conversation with Dennis Hathcock. There's you a good one. Dennis, tell him why you was following him around that night. Tell him, Dennis, who's involved. Tell him what W.O. told you. Tell him what Louise told you. Tell him what you heard from Towhead White. All that bunch that hung around the state line that whole time you was growing up, and they didn't pay no attention to a young boy hanging around, listening to everything they said. Inquisitive young man. Telephone conversation with Dennis. Michael Parsons. Lead. Investigative lead, Jennifer Martin. Jennifer Martin. Investigative lead, Tim Bishop. Document, search warrant affidavit. Investigative lead, search warrant affidavit and attachments for John Curtis Sloan Jr.'s property in Crump, Hardin County, Tennessee. Guys, 187. Be real interesting to you to read. 187. When you get it, post it on one of them Buford Pusser pages so we can look at it, please. Let's see what that affidavit, let's see what the search warrant and the affidavit. There will be two documents there. One's the affidavit, which is what they filed with the probable cause to show the judge that they needed a search warrant, and then the search warrant is what they took with them, and the search warrant will have listed on it verbatim, item for item, items that were taken. Now, I saw before where it says 2 boxes of items taken. 2 boxes. Now, it should be item per item in order to keep a count of what was taken in that search warrant, not just 2 boxes of items. You have to list what you're removing from that property. Recovery of evidence. Evidence from the consent. So it went from a search warrant and a search warrant affidavit to a consent search. Video of 3D image. Oh, they've got a 3D imaging of a Plymouth Ferry. That's just going to have to do, guys. They can't find that car after 58 years. They just can't find it. They've looked everywhere. Investigative lead, Jackie Northcutt Freeman. Wow, I like the names Hatfield McCoy, something easy to pronounce. Gee. Investigative lead, Deborah Turpine. Robert Butch Northcutt. That's an interview. That's an audio. So they either taped or done it by telephone. Property release, 2 boxes. Looky here, guys. 2 boxes of TBI materials. Okay. 2 boxes of materials to Dusty Parish. 2 boxes. What's in those 2 boxes? What's in these 2 boxes? That's what we need to know. Why is it so secretive, guys? This case is over. It's 58 years later. The man you're accused and charged and convicted of murder on that stage that day is dead. There's never going to be a trial. There's never going to be witnesses. There's never going to be a reason for evidence that we have to hide anything from anybody. If you're going to pay $400 for a report, at least let the people see. If they're going to spend that kind of money, they're that inquisitive that they want to see. Let them see 2 property receipts for 2 boxes. 2 boxes. TBI material and files, and we can't see it. We don't know what it is. 2 boxes, all down through here, 2 boxes of files. Only to John Sloan Jr. 2 boxes TBI materials, property release. 2 boxes of TBI materials and files, only to John Sloan Jr. Did they return these files? Is this somebody that's returning what they took earlier? Interview with James Harrison, Sheila Bradford. Photographs regarding this case from retired Ronnie Faulkner. See how all these names, guys, hundreds and hundreds of names. Now, they've made most of them sign NDAs, non-disclosures, request for examination, of 5 on-fired 30 caliber carbine rounds. Okay, well, there's 5 rounds here, and they've not been fired. I'm not a ballistics expert, but I believe I could give you an examination on them. Jackson Lab. Interview with John Chip Harris, Brad Hopkins, Robert Heathcock, Charles Gladish, Arnie Hardy. Medical report, medical review, injuries by Dr. Reveal. Wonder how much that cost. Wonder how much that cost the state of Tennessee for Dr. Reveal to look over Dr. Craven, or whatever his name was, the plastic surgeon of Buford Pussers, and to give his opinion, his opine, of how bad Buford's injuries were. Intelligence report. Boy, that'd be good. That's a good thing. The TBI could... I feel you, Sheila. She's not even here, and I can feel her, but that's... That word, Mr. Davison and Mr. Rouse should... Concerning Rick Walters. Intelligence report concerning Rick Walters by S. Special Agent Nick Ellison. Guys, see what 206 is there and put it in the comments. That may be interesting. Investigative lead, Wade Perhan, Ravonda Kirby. Investigative lead, Scott Franklin. Property release, autographed pictures of Buford Pusser Hayes from Michael Parsons to Dusty. Chin, that may be pictures of his chin, maybe. Karen Sloan, retired S.A. John Sloan, copy of TBI case, file number. Document, retired S.A. John Sloan's copy. So John Sloan had a copy of the TBI case. File number, this one here. Buford and Pauline's file. He's at least made a copy of it. See, somebody took the original. At least John Sloan was nice enough to just say, hey, I'm going to get a copy of this case because it's going to be famous one day. I'm going to make a copy of it now. So that means that leaves Warren Jones probably, in my opinion. Did Warren Jones take the original? Because John Sloan's got a copy. Newspaper article, Johnson City Press, 82. That's probably where, died, Warren Jones. He died I think he died in Johnson City. I could be wrong. W.R. Morse, arrest and criminal behavior. Letter written by Hardin County Sheriff James Hale concerning private investigator Larry Brent. So there's a private investigator involved in something. Okay, guys, this is 43 minutes long. I'm going to stop it right here on this page. We'll finish up on Volume 1, Table of Contents, on the next one. Thank you all. Guys, everything on here is my opinion. I'm speculating. I'm just thinking out loud. Doesn't mean a bag of beans. Doesn't mean I'm right on anything I say. Just my opinion. Thanks for sharing it with me. Thanks for allowing me to share my opinion with you. Catch you next time.